we have our first confirmed pieces from the aircraft wreck. I am here in the Spruce Swamp specifically because there is a plane that crashed into the swamp several decades ago, and we will be looking for the site of that wreck. And we've come up to a stream crossing. A little bit of flow. We did have some thunderstorms yesterday. Take a look at this. And here is what that stream was draining into. So this area, especially the fact that we're in a swampy area, not exactly known for boulders. This is it's small, but it's probably the biggest one that's going to be in this forest, so I'm going to call it right now, Boulder of the Hike. There it is. Alright, so we're going to continue on going. And you may or may not be able to see it on the camera, but we actually have a little bit of elevation here. And after gaining that elevation, we have our first confirmed pieces from the aircraft wreck. If we step on over here we are, some twisted up metal here. Get my shadow out of the way. So as we begin to explore around the wreckage area, I'll give you the scoop on what happened. Why did this plane crash here in the swamp?
On August 10th, 1959, a B-52 Stratofortress was making its way from Massachusetts to Canada when it suffered a mechanical defect. A fiberglass radar enclosure under the flight deck gave way, causing the plane to lose altitude and making it nearly impossible to control. The pilot ordered the 7 crew members to eject, but he stayed with the plane until the last moment, trying to ensure that it did not hit a populated area. The pilot ejected at the last moment, and all 8 crew members survived.
So I took a step back toward the edge of the wreckage site, and if we pan in, you can see how not very many trees in this area. It's all very, very new growth in this little circle here on top of this hill, as this is where the plane crashed down. It started quite a little fire in this area. It was put out. But we're going to keep on looking around. It is very thick brush in there, so see what we can find without having to dig in too deep into all that brush. So we do have a lot of this twine and cable mixed in some of this brush as we look in here. The military did build in a road out to this spot and cleaned most of it out. They cleaned out all the big pieces, but there are said to be hundreds of smaller pieces scattered around this area. And speaking of some more very small pieces of the craft, and again, some more debris. As we pan back, this is right on the perimeter of the crash site, as we pan back to the crash site over there. It is amazing to think of the scene that took place right in here several decades ago. If you just listen to how peaceful it is now as it begins restoring back to what it was pre-crash. So I have walked a bit further away from the main clearing, and we have this piece of debris, the largest one I've seen yet. As we get in there, see it broken. And for comparison, there is that piece of debris. So as I pan up, there is the main Spruce Swamp right in there. Maybe hard to see on the camera, but large swamp area just through those trees. And again, small pieces of metal at the base of a tree remind us of the events that occurred in this swamp. And once again, small twisted bits of metal. Again, there's hundreds of these little pieces that remain out here. All the major pieces have been hauled out by the military. And look at this. Wandering around through the swamp, we find a lady slipper. That is awesome. Oh, that is great. I haven't seen one of these in such a long time. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, that is exciting. Right here on the edge of the clearing. It's like a little piece of hope that everyone involved in the crash did survive. Some more twisted metal all throughout the area. Alright, so that was the plane crash site here in the Spruce Swamp. Really a remarkable story out here. So we saw some of the remains of it. We acknowledged the events that occurred in this swamp those decades ago. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.